You've worked your whole life, contributed every dollar to the system, and then at retirement age, you receive a Social Security check, far too small to live on in the US. You look at rent prices, medical bills, food costs, all climbing higher, and you ask yourself, can I really retire? Or will I just scrape by day to day? But have you ever longed for a different life, where with that same amount of money, you not only have enough to eat and enough to live, but can also enjoy delicious dinners out, rent a sunlit apartment, and even have extra left for travel? Believe me, it's absolutely real. Out there are countries opening their arms, welcoming you with unbelievably low costs, easy retirement visas, quality health care, and expat communities ready to become your new family. And today, I'm taking you through 10 dream destinations for retirement, where your vision of a peaceful life can truly become reality. Don't look away, because if you miss the final country, you might lose the chance to change the rest of your life. If this feels like the journey you want to join, hit like, leave a comment about the country you're hoping for, and remember to subscribe so you won't miss the next retirement secrets. Dream it. Pack it. Go. 10. Peru. The land of Machu Picchu and the $3 lunch. If in the US you have to count every bill, in Peru, your Social Security check suddenly becomes the key to a comfortable life. A full lunch costs only about $3 to $4. An apartment in Arequipa rents for around $300 to $700. And even in Lima, the bustling seaside capital, you can live comfortably on $1,200 to $1,500 per month. Many American retirees have discovered that with that budget, they not only have enough to eat and live, but can also save for trips along the majestic Andes. The Peruvian government is surprisingly friendly to retirees. The rentista visa, the golden ticket for old age, requires only one thing: proof of a stable lifetime pension of at least $1,000 per month. No need to invest tens of thousands, no need to make a bank deposit, just proof that you are truly retired with guaranteed income. Once approved, you become a permanent resident, even opening the path to Peruvian citizenship after a few years. An added bonus: U.S. pension income is not taxed in Peru. You only need to handle your tax obligations back home. As for healthcare, Peru has two faces. In Lima or Cusco, private hospitals are modern, many doctors speak English, and a consultation costs just $30 to $50. But if you choose to live in the Sacred Valley with alpacas as neighbors, emergency care may be far away. Private or international health insurance is almost a must-have for peace of mind. Public health care is cheap, but comes with long waits and rarely meets American expectations. And safety? Peru is not the Wild West. Petty theft exists and pickpocketing is common in crowded markets, but serious violence is rare in tourist zones or expat areas. In Lima, districts like Miraflores or Barranco are fairly secure, while the Callao port area should be avoided. Political protests happen occasionally, and you only need to remember one rule: if you see a chanting crowd, turn the other way. It's both safer and less stressful. Peru's biggest appeal is diversity. Want beaches? You have the vast Pacific coast. Want year-round cool weather? Head to Arequipa or Cusco. Love exploring? Machu Picchu and countless Inca ruins will never let you get bored. On top of that, Peru is a food paradise, where fresh ceviche or sizzling lomo saltado costs about the same as a Starbucks coffee in New York. Of course, nowhere is perfect. Paperwork is still bureaucratic. Petty corruption exists. Lima can be gloomy through winter, and the Amazon is so hot and humid, you'll want to hug the air conditioner. But for most American expats, These drawbacks are small compared to the feeling of living comfortably without worrying about every penny. So, if just $1,000 a month in Social Security can make you a permanent resident in Peru, would you trade those $6 Starbucks mornings in the US for sunny days and 3 ceviche lunches at the foot of the Andes? Share your thoughts in the comments. Peru might just be your retirement paradise. 9. Philippines. The Islands of Smiles. My friend, imagine waking up each morning not in a gloomy apartment, but to the sound of waves crashing against a blue sea. In the Philippines, that's not a dream. With nearly 8,000 islands, anyone can find a little corner to call home, from the bustling pace of Manila to the peaceful fishing villages of Palawan. What makes the Philippines especially suitable for American retirees is the affordable cost of living. A one-bedroom apartment costs only $300 and $500 per month, while total expenses, from food and utilities to transportation, often fall around $800 to $1,000. Some expats even say they live comfortably on just $600 a month, thanks to shopping at traditional markets and eating local dishes. It's hard to believe when dining out costs only $1 or $2. The retirement visa here, the SRRV, is considered one of the most open policies in the world. All you need is proof of $800 per month in income, or $1,000 for couples, plus a bank deposit of $10,000 or $20,000, and you can receive long-term residency that's nearly permanent. On top of that, there are attractive perks: exemption from certain taxes, discounts on local services, and a relatively simple process. Healthcare in the Philippines has two clear sides. In Manila, Cebu, or Davao, private hospitals are modern, English-speaking doctors are common, and consultations cost far less than in the US. But if you choose to live on a remote island, emergency or specialized care is harder to access. That's why international health insurance is always the wise choice. Americans often say they love the Philippines, not just for the low costs or tropical climate, but for the genuine smiles of its people. Filipinos are so welcoming that you'll make new friends after just a few trips to the market. Another big advantage: English is an official language, so you face almost no language barrier, a rare benefit in the region. Of course, no place is perfect. Traffic in Manila is often congested, the rainy season can bring major storms, and infrastructure in rural areas is uneven. But most American retirees agree these drawbacks are minor compared to the warmth and friendliness the country offers. So what do you think? Are the smiles of the Philippines enough to convince you to leave behind American city life for a peaceful retirement among blue seas and white sands? Leave a comment, and maybe you've just found your second home. If you think this place is appealing enough for retirement, hit like so more people can discover it, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the journeys to come. 8. Cambodia, the dollar oasis of Indochina. Picture this. You step out onto the balcony of an apartment you rent for less than $300 a month, looking down at tuk-tuks rushing through the colorful streets of Phnom Penh. The Social Security check that in the US might barely cover part of your rent suddenly becomes the ticket to a comfortable life here. With just about $1,000 to $1,500 a month, you can cover rent, food, entertainment, and even set aside a little for weekend getaways. Morning coffee costs $1, lunch less than $3, and if you want fresh seafood, you'll spend about $10. That's why many call Cambodia the dollar oasis, a place where US currency is used alongside the local real, letting you spend freely without worrying about exchange. Whereas in many countries, a retirement visa means a long struggle with strict income requirements, Cambodia is surprisingly simple. As long as you're 55 or older, can prove you're retired, and have a pension or stable income, You can apply for the retirement visa. There's no mandatory income figure. You only need to show you can support yourself. It's renewed annually for under $300. With paperwork so straightforward, it's often processed in just a few days. That means you can stay long-term, come and go freely, without the headaches of rigid conditions like in many other nations. Of course, every paradise has its price. Public healthcare in Cambodia falls far below Western standards, so foreigners rarely use it. Fortunately, private hospitals in Phnom Penh and Siem Reap are more modern, with English-speaking doctors. But for complex conditions, most expats still fly to Bangkok. That's why private health insurance is the health passport you'll want to have ready. Everyday care, general checkups, medication, dentistry is readily available, but for major surgery, it's best to head abroad. Cambodia's standout advantages are undeniable. Low costs, easy visas, rich culture with the grandeur of Angkor Wat, a growing expat community, friendly locals, and a central Southeast Asia location where you can fly to Bangkok in just an hour. Though infrastructure can be chaotic, streets dusty, and bureaucracy a bit cumbersome, many still choose it for one priceless reason: the ability to live comfortably on a Social Security pension, something that in the U.S. often feels like a distant dream. So how about you? If you could live at just a fraction of the U.S. cost, would you be ready to choose Cambodia as your retirement haven? Leave a comment and let me know. 7. Paraguay. The sweet secret in the heart of South America. If Peru is famous for Machu Picchu and the Philippines for its islands, Paraguay is more like a little secret, reserved for those curious enough to discover it. Tucked between Argentina and Brazil, the country isn't loud, yet it often surprises American retirees with just how inexpensive life can be. Take this story. A Canadian expat shared that he rented a brand-new 2-bedroom apartment with a pool for only $500 a month. At the market, produce is dirt cheap, fresh eggs cost half of what they do in the U.S., and a hearty steak dinner with a cold beer adds up to under $10. With about $1,200 per month, you can live comfortably in Asuncion or mid-sized cities. Something hard to imagine if relying solely on SSA income back in the U.S. Immigration policy is also quite friendly. Instead of requiring high income, Paraguay lets you apply for residency simply by depositing about $5,000 into a local bank. The process is straightforward, and within a few months you can get your residency card. After 3 years, you can even apply for citizenship, one of the shortest paths in South America. Taxes are also easygoing. Foreign income is completely tax-free, while domestic income is taxed at only 10%. Healthcare is a factor to weigh. Public hospitals are often under-resourced, while private care is better but not as diverse as in neighboring countries. Many expats opt for private insurance at around $100 per month. Plus, since few people speak English, learning some Spanish will make daily life smoother. In terms of safety, Paraguay is considered fairly peaceful. Violent crime isn't common. The main concern is petty theft if you're careless. Locals are friendly, and the expat community, though small, feels close-knit, almost like family. The most interesting highlight? Paraguay flips the script. In the U.S., do you worry about running out of money before your SSA check arrives? But here, you'll often find money left over at the end of the month. Though it may not be as flashy as other destinations, its simplicity, low costs, and straightforward residency process make Paraguay a hidden gem many overlook. So what about you? Would you bet your retirement on a country few people know, where just $1,000 a month lets you live comfortably? Comment below and let me know if Paraguay is tempting enough for you to consider. 6. Malta. A Mediterranean gem within reach. If you've ever dreamed of a life surrounded by blue skies, turquoise seas, cobblestone streets, and thousands of years of history, Malta is exactly that living picture. One of Europe's smallest countries, nestled between Sicily and North Africa, it combines safety, warm weather, and a large expat community. The cost of living in Malta isn't dirt cheap, like South America or Southeast Asia, but it's still far more affordable than the US. With about $1,500 to $2,000 per month, you can rent a comfortable apartment, shop at supermarkets stocked with both European and Asian goods, and still afford dinners by Valletta's harbor. True, Malta is not a rock-bottom destination, but it gives you that worth-it feeling. You pay moderately for a European standard of living. What makes Malta stand out is how easy it is to integrate. Language is no barrier since English is an official language. Residency procedures, especially the retirement program, are also quite transparent. You only need to show that most of your income comes from pensions or other stable passive sources, plus private health insurance. No minimum age requirement, no huge financial demand. Very achievable for an American living on SSA. Safety is another big plus. Crime rates are low, and society is friendly. The only drawback might be its small size. If you love vast forests, mountains, and lakes, Malta can feel a bit tight. On top of that, summers bring heavy tourist crowds, and rental prices in tourist hotspots can spike. Malta is the choice for those who want to spend retirement with the Mediterranean Sea, top-notch healthcare, and an international environment. So what do you think? Can this tiny but vibrant island be the final harbor for your retirement? 5. Uruguay, the Switzerland of South America. Between the two giants, Argentina and Brazil, Uruguay feels like a quiet but trustworthy friend. This is the country many American expats describe as peaceful to the point of surprise. Not flashy, not noisy, but offering a quality of life that lets you breathe easy. Costs in Uruguay are mid-range for South America. About $1,500 to $2,000 per month is enough for a couple to live comfortably in Montevideo, covering rent, food, transportation, insurance, and entertainment. It's not the cheapest place on the continent, but for what you get, stability and some of the best healthcare in the region, it's well worth it. What makes Uruguay stand out is its political and democratic stability. While some South American countries face frequent turmoil, Uruguay consistently ranks at the top for press freedom, transparency, and civil rights. For Americans, that creates a sense of familiarity and trust. You can feel confident the legal system here works seriously. Visas and residency procedures are straightforward. Just prove a stable income of about $500 per month, and you can apply for permanent residency. No complicated tricks or large deposits, simply proof that you actually live here. After a few years, you can even apply for Uruguayan citizenship if you wish. Healthcare is a bright spot. Uruguay has both public and private services, all of good quality. Private health insurance costs only about $150 per month, giving you access to care nearly on par with US standards, but at a fraction of the price. Taxes, however, are relatively strict, and after long-term residency, you may be liable for worldwide income tax. On top of that, while living costs aren't as high as in the US, they are more expensive than in many neighboring South American countries. Uruguay is like the armchair in your living room. Not the flashiest, not the cheapest, but certainly comfortable and safe. So, would you want your retirement years to unfold in the calm of this Switzerland of South America. 4. Argentina, where tango meets the rhythm of retirement. Imagine sitting at an outdoor cafe on Corrientes Avenue, sipping a deep red Malbec, while the sound of tango drifts through the air. Argentina has a way of making your retirement more poetic than ever. With just about $1,500 per month, you can live comfortably in Buenos Aires or Arequipa, rent a nice apartment, dine out for just a few dollars, and enjoy a vibrant culture that often feels out of reach in the U.S. The retirement visa here is fairly accessible. Just prove a stable income of $2,000 per month and you'll receive residency, even opening the door to citizenship after a few years. Argentina also offers a modern healthcare system at a fraction of U.S. costs, and local food is delicious, fresh, and surprisingly affordable. A top-quality steak sometimes costs no more than a fast food hamburger back home. But Argentina is not just about the savings. It's about the feeling of blending into a passionate community, from soccer fans to couples dancing tango in the streets. Yes, the country sometimes wavers with inflation and political instability, but for many expats, that only deepens their love for its resilience and zest for life. The question is, would you trade dull evenings in front of the TV in the U.S. for dazzling nights filled with lights, music, and smiles in Buenos Aires? 3. Where the sound of waves meets the familiar English tongue. There's a place where you can hear the ocean waves rolling while chatting in English with your local neighbors. That place is Belize. Surrounded by turquoise Caribbean waters and tropical jungles, Belize feels like a global village for Americans looking for a new home without the need to learn another language. With $1,500 a month, you can easily rent a comfortable apartment near the beach, enjoy meals out for just $5, and even buy a home at less than half the price of Florida. Belize's Qualified Retired Persons (QRP) visa is especially generous. All you need is $2,000 in monthly income to qualify. Plus, you get full exemption on foreign-sourced income, meaning your SSA check arrives untouched. Just like in the U.S., Belize may not be as glamorous as Europe, but it offers what many Americans crave: a simple, safe, welcoming life where you truly feel at home. So can you imagine your retirement mornings starting not with car horns, but with the sound of Caribbean waves and the smile of a Belizean neighbor? And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to join me on the next destinations. 2. Thailand, the land of smiles and affordable healthcare. If you ask why Thailand has become a classic destination for American retirees, the answer lies in its perfect mix of low costs and high quality of life. With just about $1,000 a month, you can rent an apartment in Chiang Mai, enjoy diverse meals for just a few dollars each, and access healthcare services renowned across Asia. A dental cleaning in Bangkok costs only around $20, less than many co-pays in the U.S. Thailand's retirement visas, OA, OX, require proof of finances, usually in the form of a bank deposit or stable income, but the process is fairly transparent. In return, you're allowed long-term stay and access to one of the top healthcare systems in the region. The people are so welcoming that you'll quickly understand why this country is called the Land of Smiles. The downsides? Humid weather, traffic jams in Bangkok, and occasional political instability. But most expats say these are nothing compared to the peace of mind that comes with mornings at the market, savoring a spicy Thai noodle soup, and knowing your retirement dollars are stretching further than ever. 1. Albania, affordable Europe on the Adriatic. If Malta carries the refined Mediterranean air, Albania feels like a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. With its long Adriatic coastline and majestic mountains, Albania offers retirees a picture both peaceful and romantic. The cost of living here is extremely friendly. Apartments rent for just 300–500 talon. Local food costs half of what it does in the US, and monthly expenses rarely exceed $1,000. The government allows foreigners to stay long-term with proof of income around $1,000 per month, well within reach of Social Security benefits. Healthcare is still developing and not yet on par with Western Europe, but basic medical costs are very low. Many expats choose international insurance for extra peace of mind. What makes Albania especially appealing is the warmth of its people, along with a growing international community in Tirana, Durrës, and Sarande. You may never have thought of Albania, but picture your retirement unfolding in a small seaside home, morning coffee, evening strolls through old towns, all for just a fraction of US costs. Could this be the secret you've been looking for? You've just traveled with me through 10 countries, each one a chance to turn your Social Security check into a comfortable life full of experiences. Now the question is, which place will you choose to write the next chapter of your retirement? If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment about the country you'd like to call home. See you on the next journey.